Give you a full sentence.
Full sentence, mate. Yeah, you know.
There's a full sentence.
So, talk about your food that you've eaten today. What was breakfast?
I don't think I had breakfast.
Okay, what was lunch?
Beef rangdang.
And what's a beef rang dang? Tell everybody at home.
I don't know. It was delicious there.
Beef rang dang. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I've had a beef rang dang chips. They do that. They do beef rang dang chips. They're like crisps kind of thing.
Do they?
Yeah, they're fantastic. I mean, not as good as beef rang dang.
No.
But I had a mussel curry up in Sydney on Monday with pita bread and beautiful. Really nice.
Do love a musselman curry.
Here come our match officials, looking very officious, which is what they need to be.
Pretty in pink.
Pretty in pink. I need to Good evening and welcome to Kambah 2 for the second of the Women's Federation Cup quarterfinals, brought to you by our cup sponsors, All States Towing. Broken down or been in an accident? Give All States Towing a call, your 24/7 local trusted towing company. Electro Tinj, proudly supporting the Capital Football Australia Cup qualifying rounds. Deakin Club, the family-friendly football club. Kitro Excavations for all your excavation and earth-moving needs. Rhythm Snowsports, ignite the stoke. Canberra PC Repair, IT support when you need it most. LJ Hooker for your real estate needs. Contact Lukas Cole at LJ Hooker. And Xela Construction, commercial builders, proudly supporting grassroots football. Match number 2 of 4 in the women's knockout competition. Tuggeranong United, the home team. Canberra Croatia, the away team. The heavy favourites to progress into the last 4, where they will face the winners of ANU or West Canberra Wanderers, which will be played next week. My name is Russ Gibbs. Joining me, former Paramatildas head coach, world champion Paramatildas head coach, Kelly Sturton, with a knee brace on. I thought you were fit, mate. What's going on?
Never fit when you're this old, Ross.
Yeah, what's happened?
Just a bit of a dislocation of the knee and a ACL tear, but, you know.
Playing for your club, the club changer club of the month.
Yeah,
no
South Canberra, well. Best club going around.
Yeah,
tell you what.
Tell us a little bit about South Canberra, because you've been there now a couple of years, is that right? And it's a great club to be involved with.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I couldn't have wished for a better club to be part of. The most supportive committee I've ever been supported by. You know, at the helm, you've got Bridie Cash, who's always there, and Kat Yule, you know, built the club, and we're here, and, you know, we won our first premiership last year, and which is super exciting, and the club just continues to grow. It's just an amazing club to be part of, really welcoming, really friendly.
And whilst you can't build a club just with 1 or 2 individuals, you can't have a club unless those 1 or 2 individuals are starting it out. Aren't they 7 teams now, is it, down there, I think I read? Yep,
that's correct. So we've got a team in each division except for Div 6, but got your Div 1, 2 Div 3s, Div 2.
And the Div 1 and the Division 1 team were champions of the competition last year.
We were.
Didn't want to come to Premier League?
No, too soon. The girls are enjoying it in the Community League, and I think it's the best place for them. You know, former NPL players tried to steal a couple of the players on the CCFC team, but they decided to stay with NPL, which is fair, but look.
It's a fantastic club that I've seen part of. A friend of mine, Danny Mence, has been down there for quite some time as well. And even though it is a women's club for women, the men are getting involved as well, and it's a very welcoming club for everybody.
Oh, absolutely. Look, we've got Pete from Narrabundah as one of our Div 3 coaches, and family and friends. It's such a family-orientated club. Kids come. It's like a kids' zone on the weekends, but, you know, it is very welcoming to both female and male.
And it's been a fantastic story from them from start to finish. You know, it's only a couple of years ago that they began. I think it was 2021. And they built so much in such a short space of time, and it doesn't show any signs of slowing down.
No, they continue to grow, and I think that's because they're such a good club. The passion is behind it, and they're there for the game and not for anything else.
And the next step for them, of course, is to see them in this competition next year, the Federation Cup. I'm sure we can get them across the line.
No pressure.
No pressure at all, but they could be playing on a night like this against one of the teams in the APL, Canberra Croatia, who started the season with a 4-0 win over ANU. Their first round match against Gungahlin United was postponed. They've had a bit of a truncated start to the campaign. They've only played 1 game. Everybody else has got at least 2 under their belts, including Tuggeranong United, who started with a 5-1 loss to West Canberra, and then they were outplayed here by Belconnen 11-0. That game, I don't know if you saw any of it, Kelly, but they started really well. The first 15 minutes, they played some really good football, but they come up against a Belconnen side that, as we saw last night, absolutely ruthless. 27 goals in 4 games they've scored now, Belconnen United, and on the weekend down here, weekend before, they were pretty relentless that day. Yeah,
look, Belconnen United are always a force to be reckoned with, and I think they're the top contenders for the premiership this year. But it'll be interesting to see how Tuggeranong goes against CCFC. If they can hold their own, they definitely can score a couple of goals here.
They should will. Troy Boots is here from Boots and Gloves Academy, goalkeeping coach. I tell you what, they're just on a note of that, Ingrid Larson, 15-year-old goalkeeper, Majura FC, goes to Troy's academy and part of the Football Canberra Academy group as well that plays, and called into the Junior Matilda squad along with Tara Aspelins from Canberra Olympic. Brilliant to see a couple of players from the clubland getting the recognition they deserve.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I know when I was at CUA, Ingrid always tried her hardest, and it's a really good recognition of how far she's come as an athlete. And Troy's worked super hard with her, and Troy worked with me at the Paramatildas with our goalkeepers there, and I think Ingrid's been lucky to have Troy beside her each and every time, and it's shown.
And she's done a bit of work, I understand, with Chantel Jones as well, former Canberra United goalkeeper, who was part of the Canberra Croatia Football Club as well. So, football community getting round talented players. Got to give a shout out and a hi to you from Akshay Shah, watching all the way over from India. Says a long time since he's heard Kelly speak and said to say hello. So we pass that on. Akshay likes to tune in. He's still got his roots here, hasn't he?
He does.
The Burns boy.
He's such a good lad. Miss him. And I bet you Capital Football community miss him too.
I think everybody misses his delightful demeanour. I'm sure if he's watching again tonight, which he is, he'll enjoy the match between Tuggeranong and Croatia. Last night, Belconnen United was simply too good for Majura, 8-0. Alex Martins with 4 of them, Melina Roberts with a brace. And they were very, very good last night, Belconnen. But Majura, I was quite impressed with some of the stuff that David Roberto's done with that group. There's some really good performances. Young Gracie New in goal. Olivia Martinello, the 15-year-old, I think she is up front, ran really hard and worked incredibly brilliantly. And Halle Namache, the centre-back, was good as well, amongst others as well who shine. They've got some really good players there.
Majura's always, been those up-and-coming club, and with David there to guide them in that way, I think they'll be a surprise package. They're young, they're coming through, they're just like an academy team, and they're well built. They'll shift a few teams this year.
And a shout out to Carmel Lynch, who had to leave the action halfway through. She injured a shoulder in a challenge with Eilish McDonough, went down awkwardly on it, went for an MRI scan today, so fingers crossed it's not too bad. You might be able to see a Canberra Croatia player running up and down the touchline in front of us, just to the left now. Brittany Palombi coming back from an injury sustained in futsal, not playing tonight, but when you've got a goal record of 193 goals in 198 games, well, they'll look to have her back at some stage. Yeah,
she'll be a big miss tonight, but I'm sure when she's back on the pitch, she'll make up for those goals.
Well, let's have a look at the two teams, starting with Tuggeranong United. Ian Tom's first action as head coach in a Federation Cup tie. Picks Isla Alloway in goal. 4 across the backs, Jess Mitchell and Casey Smith will be the fullbacks. Casey Smith having played her 50th National Premier League game in that game against Belconnen United. Lara Mustaine and Gemma Toms are the central defensive partnership. Gemma Toms, the daughter of the head coach. Midfield 3 sees a familiar name in Mathongsi, Tara Mathongsi, alongside Jyotika Singh and Rhiannon Goldstein, who's the most experienced player in this team. 80 appearances in the National Premier League for the former Canberra Croatia player. Up top, Michaela Moore, Claire Kennedy Spencer and Acacia Argento are the front 3. The bench sees Esperance Anderson, Claire Bundy, Brianna Lazari, Lena Christopherson and Ella Lister. It's not a bad Tuggeranong team, and it's a little bit different shape that they played last year, and they've tried to play a bit more football.
Yeah, it would be good and interesting to see some new faces out there too. With Goldstein coming into the squad, an old head there just to keep the pressure down on the girls.
Canberra Croatia, an embarrassment of riches for Musi Alongo in his lineup tonight. Ellie Summers will start in goal. The back four sees Letitia Babic at right back, Tiana Boots at left back, Luella Coleman alongside Sophia Mikurios, hugely experienced central defender. Midfield 3 sees Michaela Thornton, 236 NPL games to her name. She's been around forever. Alongside Jamie Berkeley, 162, and Isabella Barrett, 104. You'll go a long way to finding a more experienced midfield triumvirate than those. Up top, the pace of Riley McQueenie on one side, the experience of Ellie Raymond, a former Canberra United player, on the left. Arusha Chu, the young starlets down the middle, who scored twice in that win over ANU. They named 4 on the bench: Nadia Zachman, Angelina Babic, Amy Bongiorno and Pia McGee. It is a formidable-looking lineup.
It's a very strong lineup there. As I said to Russ prior to this, you get Michaela Thornton in the middle and Sophia at the back line, and then Ellie up top. You've got a solid commitment all the way through that lineup there.
Letitia Babic was given a trophy before kick-off. I was sorting out the office and I found a 2023 Canberra United Coaches Player of the Year Award Academy, awarded to Letitia Babic. Hadn't been picked up. It was sat in the office. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to see her tonight.
Give it to her.
So we passed it on. I don't know whether they gave it to her in the changing rooms. I think they did. I'm sure it raised a chuckle or two. Match officials tonight: Hyunwon John in the middle, Cameron Wallace and Benjamin Cracknell are the assistants, clad in their blue. Bit of rain came through Canberra today, so the pitch will be a bit skiddy in parts. We were here earlier in the season. You can see there's a couple of bare patches which have got grass on it, but I'm sure that won't make too much of a difference to the match tonight. It's important, I guess, for Tuggeranong United to get themselves off to a fast start.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're not fast against CCFC, I think they'll punish you very quickly. If Tuggeranong can hold their own in the first 15, I think CCFC will find it hard to break them down.
I'm quite surprised that we're not seeing Croatia in their reds tonight. It's just into whites against white and green. Seems a bit odd, but the red wouldn't have clashed, I wouldn't have thought.
No, they just look like Christmas out there, really.
Absolutely, it would. Talking of weather, though, I mentioned the rain today. It's perfect. Now, there's not a breath of wind out there at all. It's actually reasonably balmy. It's not hot. Not cold, rather. I've put my big jacket on, but I might have to take it off. It's a little bit warmer than I thought.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's a lovely night out here in Canberra for a good old April weather. Not Anzac Day
Well,
yet.
it's not quite, and we need to be putting the heaters on. We had this conversation last night with Sam Watson, and he's a university student here, and he lives in halls where it's really hot, stuffy, or a house where it's really stuffy anyway, so he doesn't. But, yeah, if you put your heating on before Anzac Day, my daughter, who's 11, asked me if that was an actual rule. Do you not have to put, because they were talking about it at school, and because their parents obviously talk about it as well, and they're like, is that an actual rule, Dad? That we can't put the heating on till Anzac Day?
It is for the bills,
yeah.
Absolutely.
You know, you've got kids as well.
Yeah, exactly right.
Absolutely. But Anzac Day, we're talking, Anzac Day's in July.
Yeah, exactly. Stay warm till then, kids.
Put another jumper on. Here we go. Michael Ribondella's on the camera again, as he was last night. Did a great job. And as per usual with a midweek game, which is scheduled to kick off a particular time, we're not going to kick off at that time. It always, every week. And you know what we got? We got a problem with the nets, or both nets, which, again, grinds our gears, doesn't it?
Yeah. Simple stuff.
And I'll go back to it again. I mentioned this so many times, Kelly. You'll appreciate this. The players warm up. They knock the ball around into the nets. Why doesn't someone come and check them when they've finished the warm-up?
Exactly right.
Honestly.
You should be out there, Russ.
Oh, goodness me.
With your hammer and a peg.
Hammer and a peg?
Yep.
Absolutely. And my roll of duct tape.
Yep,
Just
absolutely.
Classic park football action, isn't it, when you have to duct tape the goals up?
Every referee's dream.
I do have a little stepladder in the back of my car for help for getting on to the scaffolds, the little mobile platforms that we use. I mean, maybe they need that out there. I think we're going to get okay with it, and we will eventually kick off this Cup quarter-final. Tuggeranong have managed only one goal in the last 5 matches against Canberra Croatia. They've conceded 12 in 3 matches last year. They are very much the underdogs today, but this is Cup football, and anything can happen.
Looks like Tuggeranong is going to play a defensive game to start off with here, Russ.
You wouldn't be surprised, would you?
No, not at all.
This China Boots' first touch for Ali Summers in goal. And Tisha Babic can bring it forward. Looking for Arusha Chu. It's going to find its way to Bella Balac, and there's room out here on this near side. And an opportunity straight away where the flag goes up against Ellie Raymond.
Great ball there by Babic, though, just over the top. Unfortunately offside, but if it paid off,
lovely
sensational.
Little scoop, wasn't it?
It was. Well read.
From Bella Balac. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. It took Belcon 90 seconds to get on the score sheet last night.
What's the Canberra record, Russ?
Oh, I don't know. It'll be really early. I've seen some early goals. Not too many this season. I think like 25 seconds perhaps. There's probably been earlier ones, but I'm not sure we've got them on camera.
Be interesting.
Raymond forces it through the legs of Jess Mitchell, who played most of her football at centre-back last year, but she's been pushed out onto this right full-back role. Raymond again. Boots. Balac. Misjudgment by Thornton, that's unusual. Kennedy Spencer for Jyotika Singh. Jyotika Singh does work at the Capital Football offices, and she's pretty much, her and Kenneth Sluice, who plays for Majura, is in charge of running Kanga Cup and everything that goes with it. They've been working tirelessly today because the Kanga Cup registration is pretty much closed already with 324 teams.
It's phenomenal.
It's a huge amount. There's a waiting list as long as your arm as well for some that couldn't get in.
Yeah, I saw that. Some of the age groups are all full.
Incredible starts already. Good work for both of those, but there's Singh taking some time out from the day job in midfield up against Bella Balac and Michaela Thornton. And here they come again. The runner down the middle is Arusha Chu, and she might get on the end of this. The angle was a bit tight. Casey Smith across, and the flag goes up again. from Arusha Chu.
Another great ball. Just breaking through that back line there.
Bit of a tight one, that one, wasn't it?
It was very tight.
I think a few people around us were a little bit perplexed. Just having a look to see what the formation lineups are. It does look like a traditional 4-4, almost like a 4-4-1-2, or 1-1 rather. There's too many players otherwise. They're going with that formation.
Got to be quick with the maths.
Yeah, they're going with that formation. They'll be in trouble. Ian Toms has tried to install a way for Tuggeranong to play some football from the back, but occasionally it can go wrong. It did there, Ellie Raymonds, but Singh's back to help out.
Yeah, CCFC just looking for that high press there to try and get that early goal against Tuggeranong.
Commendable to try and play out from the back.
It is always a hard task.
Here's Singh. Neat feet for Mitchell. Tuggeranong looking to gain a bit of ground, looking for Michaela Moore, who's got there after a fashion. Nicely one back. That's by Luella Coleman. One half of the centre-back pairing is Babbage. Sophia Mukurios, who I was commentating on in her Bell West Foxes days when they were racking up the trophies.
Yeah, I played with Sophia back in those days at Bell West. It's good to see her back on the pitch.
Formidable outfit they had back then, didn't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
Here's
One
Raymond.
of the best.
Got in behind here, Ellie Raymond. Thought about a shot and will tee up Thornton, who's rolled it in. Was looking for the run of McQueenie, didn't quite come off.
Would have liked to see Thornton take a shot there, Ross. She's got the power.
It's ironic you should mention the Bell West Foxes anyway, because I had a message off of Pat Mills today, who was their coach for quite some time. Barach going to switch it towards McQueenie. Won't stay in play. And Melanie Luxor was their goalkeeper. She used to work in the Capital Football offices and headed off down to South Australia.
Yeah, she's still there, I believe. It was a very, very good team, very strong.
And Vanessa Burdett, one of their legends.
Yeah, I've stolen her. She's in my Div 1 team this year,
still
South Canberra.
out?
Yep.
Have you put her in goal?
No, she's
on the field.
She's defensive for us this year.
Played a bit of futsal indoors, didn't she? With
She did.
In goal in the Capital Football Futsal League, rather. Some real names in that side. It was an incredible outfit. Did Ellie Raymond play a bit there as well? I think she might have.
She did towards the end, I believe.
There's Mercurius stabbing it forward. Kennedy Spencer trying to force her way through.
Had Michaela Thornton in that team as well at Bell West.
Veritable pup at those ages,
Yes,
wasn't she, coming
yes.
through the ranks? Here she is, some 236 MPL games later and counting. Shows no sign of slowing down either.
No, she's got her coach's hat on now with the medical Matildas.
Matildas.
Yeah, the Matildas.
They won a world championship as well, I think.
They
didn't
did last year.
It should be a free kick. McQueenie was caught. Or was she? Apparently not. It will be a corner. The first, or I think that's what they've given over there on that far side. We have both coaches of the Medtildas and the Dockeroos. Dina Greenwich, in charge of the men's medical team.
Yep.
Michaela in charge of the female medical team.
They both did very well at the last World Cup they played at. World Championships.
So corner kick for Croatia, looking to break the deadlock. Bella Balac has gone across to take it. Plenty of white shirts in the penalty area to hit. Aiming towards that near post. Alloway came. It's a real scrum of players in there. No one could get a shot away. It's going to come out to Balac again. Great skill from Bella Balac. Great feet. And the ball in was brilliant. And Berkeley wasn't far away, I think.
Great skill there by Barrett. That
I think
ball
in fact
across.
it was Mercurius who stayed up. He almost got on the end of it. Inches away. Got here a bit earlier and I was privy to a conversation with Nick Brozanic and Bella Balac about set pieces. Bella Balac was asking why she wasn't allowed to be in the area to get on the end of the
Unless she has a very big vertical jump.
Well, she does get up forward quite big. Here's Thornton. Angles acute for Thornton to steer that for Chu, and somehow Arusha Chu has not put Canberra Croatia ahead. Brilliant from Thornton, and Chu skews her shot wide when it looked easier to score.
Yeah, absolutely. Thornton came through there. Beautiful cutback. Unfortunately, just didn't find the back of the net.
9 minutes in, and that's a clear-cut opening for Canberra Croatia, created by Thornton. Just going back to Balac, I have seen her score headers. She does have a good leap on it.
I didn't like playing against her at CF in the futsal league. She could hit a ball, that's for sure.
I think I saw her score a header in the futsal league as well.
Yeah, I think she scored a couple, actually.
Boots met that with a meaty punch forwards. Easy for Alloway. Mathongsi. Now Moore stays on side here. Michaela Moore looking for the ball into the middle. Cut up by Boots in the first instance. Singh joins in the attack. Boots comes across. Better from Tuggeranong in the forward zones.
Starting to get into their own half now.
Jess Mitchell with a throw. She's the player who scored the only goal for Tuggeranong this season. They have got 3 more, and unfortunately all of them were in their own goal against Belconnen United the other weekend. Casey Smith, 2 own goals on her 50th appearance, was one not to remember, but very unfortunate own goals.
It happens, definitely happens to the best of us.
Never got one myself, I was never that far back. No doubt would have. Babbage plays it down towards McQueenie, looking to use her pace. Got a few world champions in Canberra. I was at a Canberra United assembly at a school the other day, and the teacher that was there was Carly Salmon.
Yep. One of the
Matilda's
best.
world champion, goalkeeper, hat-trick in the final, was it?
No, that was Caitlin Smith.
That was Caitlin Smith, yeah.
No, but Carly played,
was a goalkeeper.
She was, but she played on the field quite a bit for us, actually, at the World Cup. She's multi-talented, though.
And I saw her at training the other day as well, and she was down in goal for Troy Boots' academy and getting in nets and doing some practicing, and world champion.
She is. And captain, world champion captain, in fact.
One of the questions one of the kids asked the players that were at the assembly, a couple of Canberra United players, was, any of you won the World Cup? And they were like, no, but I know someone in the room who has. Thornton, held by Alloway. And there was Carly Salmon. So bring your medal in.
Yeah, look, we won the World Cup. I wouldn't say it's the best medal.
I've seen it. It's an interesting construction, isn't it?
It is. But look, a World Cup medal is a World Cup medal, and when it's the only one in Australia at the moment, we'll take it.
100%. It doesn't matter what it looks like, it's what it means.
Exactly right.
Mitchell, Moore. I mean, look, if anyone wants to see it, just send Kelly a message. She's pretty happy to send you a picture, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Always. Michael
wants to see it at half-time. You've probably got a picture on your phone.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Of course.
Jess Mitchell with the throw. Still waiting for the breakthrough here. As expected, Croatia have had the majority of the ball and the better chances, but Tuggeranong sticking in there and playing pretty well. When Thongzi finds Mitchell, looking for Kennedy Spencer. Came off the head of Coleman. Popped away by Toms. When Thongzi in the middle of the park. Lost out to Berkeley. Mercurius. Again, that ball, and there's the pace down the wing. Berkeley's going to get there first. Looking for Chu in the middle. Got a better connection this time. But Toms was in the way to block the power.
Yeah, CFC is slowly breaking down that Tuggeranong defence. I like a good through ball through that back line there, which is catching Tuggeranong off quite a bit.
Arusha Chu with her trademark sleeves rolled up, even though it's not that warm.
The sun's not out, but guns are out, right?
100% for Arusha Chu. 2 goals, like I say, in round 1, or round 2, which was round 1 for Croatia. Chu finds Balac, who got the other 2 that day. And here goes Raymond. Again, Arusha Chu's taken him a good position in the middle, and that's unlike Ellie Raymond, who's shanked across behind the goal, but they're getting some joy down the flanks.
They are. They've got a bit of pace down the flanks too, which I think is catching Tuggeranong out.
In matches at Kambah, Tuggeranong have only avoided defeat to Croatia on 2 occasions. They haven't won against them since round 9 2017. These teams met at this stage of the Federation Cup in 2017, with Canberra Croatia emerging with a 4-0 victory. Little stats to help you through. Here's Barach winning it back and advancing into the area and looking to tee up Chu, and that's a fine save from Alloway.
Great save.
Brilliant stop to deny Arusha Chu. Might be called into action again very quickly with Chu. The flag stays down. Second bite of the cherry and swamped by a combination of Toms and Smith. Tuggeranong clear. Croatia, though, knocking on the door.
Yeah, absolutely. They're very good, Croatia, at recycling this ball and trying to get it down their flanks.
Boots. Stud of Berkeley to help it forward. Strong from Mitchell. Wins it on the ground against Raymond. And against Berkeley. This is the 22nd match in all competitions between the two teams in the NPL era. Croatia have won 19. As I mentioned, Tuggeranong 2. There has been one draw. In the 21 games scored, Kel, Croatia have scored an incredible 111 goals. They've conceded only 13 in reply. It's been pretty much one-way traffic when these two meet down the years.
Yeah, wow. It's a phenomenal stat there.
Raymond's, it's opened up for her as well. Ellie Raymond gets a shot away, but it was always rising. They're getting closer, though.
They are. Soon enough, they'll find the back of the net. It was a really good hit by Ellie. Just a little bit too high.
Croatia have been on a bit of a run. They've only lost one of their last 4 matches. Scored 12 goals in that quartet of fixtures as well, most of them towards the end of last season. Tuggeranong, well, they haven't won a match for a while. Round 21, 2023. 21 fixtures ago, they defeated the Canberra United Academy 1-0. Rainey Niles scored the goal, the American import. Didn't get a win last year. The ladies from Kambah drew 3 of their 18 games.
Look, I think they were quite a new team last year as well, with Sarah West coming back into the coaching frame, and considering they were quite new and quite young, they did quite well for themselves.
If you look at their results, they were competitive in nearly all their games. They weren't blown out of the water by too often. They just struggled to score goals. Yeah,
when you don't have a strike power up front, I think you struggle a little bit, but you know, if you keep those scores closer, you know one win's coming very soon.
Well, they're taking a risk today with the 3 up top, aren't they? And it's playing off for them at the moment because they've got an outlet.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alloway under pressure. Arusha Chu might have nicked it off her, but well defended in the end by Lara Mustaine, who's been an absolute stalwart of this club. She's 102 games down. And 13 goals, which is quite impressive for a central defender.
Yeah, absolutely.
Raymond again might fancy it. Drifts past Mitchell. Chu. Berkeley. Mercurius. Was looking for McQueenie on Babbage, but it bisected both of them. And Manthongsi might be able to bring it away and look for the pace of Argento, who's quick, but well read by Ellie Summers.
Yeah, absolutely there. And Sophia just coming across the player there to cut her off. Made it easy for Ellie to just clear that ball.
Berkeley looking for the run of Thornton. Mustaine in the way. I think Ian Toms will be pretty pleased with the way his team have defended so far. 17 minutes gone.
Tuggeranong are playing very well out from the back here, Russ. They've kept quite good control, and with the pressure of CCFC in their forward line, they've kept the ball really well.
Croatia have opened them up a couple of times, haven't they? Chu should have scored when she skewed that shot wide, and Alloway made a super save.
Absolutely. Great goalkeeper save. Got down low and spread herself and made that incredible save to deny the shot going in.
I had a chat with Ian Toms in the car park when we both got here today, and we were talking about cup football. And whilst all the statistics and all the likelihood is that this team in white are the favourites, it is cup football, and anything can happen on the night.
Yeah, absolutely. You see it in the men's game quite a lot when the underdogs come through and beat the top.
And it's got to be decided tonight. If it's level after 90 minutes, we will go into extra time, and the possibility of penalties at the end of it, of course. Women's Federation Cup action continues next Wednesday. Sam Watson will take you through Gungahlin United versus Canberra Olympic. Well, on Thursday, I'll be on ANU versus West Canberra Wanderers as we find out what the semi-final lineup will be. Men's Cup football starts next Tuesday with an absolute humdinger at Deakin Stadium. Canberra Croatia versus Monero Panthers. And then Wednesday night, I will be here at Kambah 2 as Ugali make the long trip from Griffith to take on Tuggeranong United in midweek. Poor boys from Griffith haven't had a home cup tie for ages. And the last time they had a home cup tie was in a quarter-final in 2020, I think it was 1 maybe, or 22 against Tuggeranong United. Ironically enough, they won 2-0, got to the semi-finals. It's been a long time since they've had a home game, but they keep jumping on that bus and coming down to Canberra.
Yeah, great commitment by Ugali.
Looking forward to seeing them again next week. Barach, little 1-2 with McQueenie. Delight to watch Bella Barach as she drifts through the gears. That might come for Thornton. Alloway did well in the end. So hard to play against Bella Barach when she's on the move.
Yeah, she's a phenomenal player out there, and the ball just sticks to her foot. Hard to defend someone like that.
Moore got there just ahead of Boots. Kennedy Spencer having a run. Coleman composed enough to step across and win it. Cluster of Canberra Croatia fans to our right in the bleachers.
They are.
Tuggeranong fans in the bleachers to our left.
All rugged up. Don't know if it's beanie weather yet, though, Russ.
I don't believe it's beanie weather just yet. Ruins the hairstyle, Kenny. You can't wear a beanie, can you? I won't cover my hair up until I actually start losing it all, and then the beanie will start coming out. Look,
I can trade you some of my hair if you wish, Russ. I've got too much of it.
Speaking of Ugali, Paul Fisher's trying to call me. Obviously doesn't know whether we're on commentary tonight. Here's Raymond, offside. 20 minutes in.
Well read there by Tuggeranong, just stepping their line. Getting Ellie offside there.
You're watching live Federation Cup quarter-finals, brought to you by our sponsors, All-State Towing, Electro Tinj, Deakin Club, Kitro Excavations, Rhythm Snowsport, Canberra PC Repair, LJ Hooker, and Xela Constructions. Thanks again to our sponsors. It's great to have them, Kel. Otherwise, we wouldn't be bringing you this football. We have the budget in semi-finals and finals, but we don't show the games beforehand without the sponsors. And luckily for us, the sponsors this year have been so good that we've been able to cover all the games in the Women's Federation Cup in its entirety, all 4 quarter-finals, semi-finals, and the final live on the Capital Football YouTube channels. You'll see all 4 men's quarter-finals, semi-finals, and final live as well, thanks to the generosity of our sponsors.
Yeah, without sponsors, we can't do what you can do.
And you guys can't sit at home in the warmth out of the rain.
Exactly right.
Drinking your mugs of tea.
Yeah, if anyone wants to bring us one.
Mug of tea, that'd be great, wouldn't it?
It would.
Absolutely. Toms does well. And that's calm as well from Gemma Toms. Finds Mitchell. Again, commendable to try and play it out, Tuggeranong. Doesn't quite work on that time, but Coleman, little 1-2. Luella Coleman from the back, and here's a chance for Arusha Chu. And the flag goes up against the forwards, who finds the back of the net. It won't count. A very early call over on that far side by Cameron Wallace.
Very early call, but I think Tuggeranong did step up there and catch her offside. Great ball there by Coleman.
If you get the offside chap right, it works a treat.
Yeah,
it's a dangerous game to play, though, isn't it?
It is, especially against a quick forward line like CFC have.
But midway through the first half, Croatia yet to trouble the scorers, and Tuggeranong more than matching them in the areas of the park where it's important. Kennedy Spencer again foraging well from centre forward into that little hole just behind.
Both teams are using their flanks quite well here, Russ, tonight. Trying to dominate up there and missing that middle area.
Boots comes across. China Boots, new to the Canberra Croatia first team this year, made her debut off the bench in that win over ANU.
She had a little bit of a stint in WA last year.
Well, this season debut, I should say. She has played 20 games in first grade football in Canberra before she went over there.
Yep, she played for Canberra United Academy.
That's where all her games were played. Before she, as you say, went to WA for a season.
It's good to see her back out on the pitch in Canberra.
It's an evolution of a Canberra Croatia side, isn't it, this year? There's a few new players that have come in, and Michaela Thornton, I guess, was the major signing that's enabled that to happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Once you get someone on board like a Thornton, who wins that duel with Kennedy Spencer, it's easier to attract other players as well.
Yeah, absolutely. She just holds that midfield really well as well, and players like playing around her. She controls the ball.
I may be wrong, but I understand from my contacts that Thornton's arrival precipitated that of Mercurius and Raymond as well. Wouldn't surprise me.
No.
As we mentioned before, they do go back a long way.
No, it's always that one player that pulls the rest in, which is good to see. Bringing some players out of retirement.
That's you at South Canberra, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Mustaine. Nicely done from Lara Mustaine. Finds Michaela Moore. Back for Jessica Mitchell. Moore again. Caught late by Raymonds. That will be a free kick. Not happy, Michaela Moore, with that challenge.
Was a little bit late there by Raymond.
Saw one for Moore. Wonder if that's injured a knee or something as she went down. It was a sore one. Was it the hand? We will see. Rana Goldstein wanted the physio, and then Michaela Moore said, nah, I'm all right. Goldstein will be over this free kick. Part of a very large footballing family, Rana Goldstein. First chance for Tuggeranong from a set piece, sent into the middle. Half-hearted shouts from a couple of players close by for maybe for a penalty. Now here's the problem. Marusha Chu is big and strong and powerful and has run away from the angle and got the shot away as well. But real handful when she gets going, Arusha Chu.
Yeah, very strong on the ball, and well, Tuggeranong were lucky no one was streaming into that back post for just a quick tap in there.
If you'd given Tuggeranong United, their fans and the coaching staff 25 minutes into this cup quarter-final and a 0-0 scoreboard, I think they would have taken it.
Yeah, absolutely. They've done really well, Russ. They've held their own here, and their defensive line's been challenged, but they're holding it.
I mean, you won a World Cup playing cup football and knockout football. Do you play in blocks in those games? Do you see and try and 5-10 minutes here or whatever it might be, or do you have a plan that you set out for in from start to finish?
Look, with the style of football we played in the World Cup, we played the first 15 to see how it played out, and then we do it.
McQueenie's ball in, and Alloway's got half a touch in it. Here's Raymond's. Flag's gone up again. That won't count either. Ellie Raymond's got the ball in the net, but that's offside as well, which is an interesting one. Ellie Raymond's bemused, but Cameron Wallace got that sorted, so you can carry on your point, Kelly.
No, that's okay. It was a close call there.
An offside given. Must have been offside from the original cross, I would have thought, rather than the finish from Raymond's. But yeah, you had the plan set out and ready to go. How long was that last few minutes for you? Did it feel like forever?
It did. We were up, though. We were up 6-2 at that point. So
but it still felt like
it still felt like we had about 50 minutes to go in the game. But the girls dug deep, and, as you said, some coaches play in blocks, and thankfully we didn't have to really play in those blocks for that final, except for the first half.
Raymond away from Mitchell momentarily and looking to deliver something into the area. Tuggeranong looking to clear. Eventually away from Goldstein. Was there a stage where you knew it was yours in that final, and you were able to just sit there and go, we've got this, we're going to be world champions?
Yeah, look, to be honest, I think at 4-2 I was pretty comfortable that we'd had it in the bag. It's a style like futsal, so goals can be scored very quickly. But, yeah, at 4-2 I was pretty comfortable. US took one of their best players off as well, which sort of gave our defence line a little bit of a breather.
Yeah, you can score some incredible goals. You can watch it on YouTube. Katie Smith scores some scorchers from goalkeeper.
Yeah, I don't think you could find many goalkeepers who can score three goals in a World Cup.
Here's a chance for Chu again. Yeah, I doubt there'll ever be another one.
No, definitely not.
In a World Cup final.
Definitely a record she'll hold very closely.
There's not been many World Cup final hat-tricks. Only 2 in the men's, couple in the women's as well.
Caitlin's a phenomenal keeper, though, and can play on field. She plays in WA on field in their Premier League up there. So she's definitely a force and, yeah, phenomenal person as well.
If you just tuned in and wonder what we're talking about, we are talking about the Para Matildas. Kelly Stilton was the head coach when they won the World Cup. Caitlin Smith, the goalkeeper. No goals in this Federation Cup quarter-final. Isabella Barach with the corner kick. Looking to swing this into the penalty, into the danger area again. Thornton was in there. There's a shove, and I think he's given a penalty here, Humu John, unless it's gone the other way. But I think he pointed to the spot, and he has. Given Canberra Croatia a spot kick. In amongst the crowd, the referee spotted a shove, and Canberra Croatia have been given a perfect opportunity to take the lead here.
Yeah, I think McQueenie got a little bit of a shove there. And the refs picked it up straight away, pointed to the spot. Yeah,
Humu John was right on it. Wasn't many complaints from those in Tuggeranong United colours, but this will be disappointing for them, having defended so well for close to half an hour, to concede this spot kick. Marisha Chu and Jess Mitchell exchanging pleasantries on the edge of the penalty area. It's Jamie Berkeley from the spot, usually so calm and composed in these situations, Berkeley. Isla Alloway's already made one fantastic save, but it's Berkeley from the penalty spot to put Canberra Croatia in front. Driven into the corner, not a chance for the goalkeeper, and half an hour in, Canberra Croatia break the deadlock.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, Tuggeranong should hold their heads high there. They've kept them out for 30 minutes, and an unfortunate penalty to find the back of the net.
Well, it was such a disappointing one from their point of view, Tuggeranong, because such a cluster of players. There was no chance anyone's going to get on the end of it.
No.
And didn't even see the actual shove itself. McQueenie, you think it was, that was pushed out of the way.
Got to have good eyes as a referee, I think.
He spotted it, didn't he, through the crowd, Humu John? It confused a few people around us who hadn't seen what was going on. And if they were a little bit unlucky with the goal from Raymond that was disallowed moments ago, they've had their fortune back with the penalties and taken beautifully by Jamie Berkeley. Yeah,
very calm under pressure and a very good penalty.
Here they go again. They often score in blocks, Canberra Croatia. Once they get one, a second swiftly follows. That's what Tuggeranong need to avoid. Well won back by Kennedy Spencer. Casey Smith off on a run. Barach brings her down from behind. Free kick Tuggeranong. Important 5 to 10 minutes this for Tuggeranong. Don't want to concede again.
No, they don't. Berkeley just had a few words there with the referee.
About the foul. I mean, they were given a penalty 2 minutes ago.
Just pointing out a few hints for him.
He's just like, I just gave you a spot kick. What more do you want?
Look, us players, we always want to push the friendship with the referee, I think.
Absolutely. Have a chat with them. Goldstein with the set piece, looking for Kennedy Spencer. Bounces off her knee. McQueenie lost out to Smith. Barach. Barach again.
It's had a pretty quiet game over there, Babbage. Ball hasn't really circulated over into that right side there.
Well, we see Michaela Moore have a couple of runs down this flank. The pace of Argento, we've not really seen her in action because she's not been, like you say, the ball's not gone that side. A couple of chases that she's willingly put through. It's a lovely ball from the back there from Coleman. Raymond stays onside, looking for Chu. That's another good piece of defending. Toms at the expense of the corner. Last season, Tuggeranong conceded a huge amount of goals. They don't look like they're going to do that this season, do they?
No, the defence is quite tight this season, as we've said tonight, Russ. They've got nearly every player behind the ball, which helps.
This statistic will tell you where their problems, though. In their last 27 matches in all competitions, they've only scored 12 goals. And that's been the issue for them. Looking to work on that this season. Barach into the area. Was won by Thornton. couldn't direct it goalwards. As you mentioned, you can defend all you like, but you have to score at some stage if you want to win football matches.
Exactly. It's the key moment for a football game, scoring goals.
But I think they can be pretty pleased with their start.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they've held themselves strong, and, you know, throughout the season, I think a few teams will be shook by Tuggeranong.
Yeah, there's a steely determination about this outfit that was perhaps missing in previous seasons. More. Maybe now the pace of Argento. She is rapid, isn't she?
She has got some pace about her, but well read by Ellie.
Ellie Summers off her line incredibly quickly.
Both teams don't seem to be playing very centrally tonight, Russ. They seem to be using the flanks quite a bit.
Thornton. It's not the widest pitch here at Kambah 2. To try and use as much of it as you can.
Yeah, absolutely.
They've actually shortened it this year as well. We were here for a men's cup tie a couple of weeks ago. Come back to that in a minute as Thornton puts it across. And it wasn't done on purpose, but it's gone in about 2 meters on each flank. Last time I was here.
There you go. Is that for drainage purposes?
Well, potentially, but they marked it that way. The AC Sports Grounds, by all accounts, worked out quite well for Tuggeranong's men's team because they have an American import called Cole Falco who can throw a ball from halfway into the box.
Yeah, well.
So actually making the field a little bit narrower for him. It probably works
in their favour.
No one complained, as far as I'm aware. Singh. A little clip by Berkeley, the goal scorer. Spotted by the officials. Neat and tidy in there, Jyotika Singh. Good touch. Finds little pockets of space in which to work.
Yeah, very smart midfielder there.
Tom's back to Mustang. Was told that Jyotika Singh did actually represent India at age grade levels back in the day. Chu. You can see there's a footballer there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mitchell.
She's going to have her hands full in July, though, that's for sure. The Kanga Cup.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not her first rodeo, though. She's been around a couple of times in the competition. Or at least once. This will be the second one, I think. I think she came there for the first a couple of years ago.
Yep.
It might have been she'd been with us a couple of weeks before. Turner Boots with the throw. Won by Mitchell. Singh. Again, takes it down beautifully. Moore. Backing herself, Michaela Moore. And why not? Coleman came across to help out. Singh again. Boots is happy to go back to Summers. Keisha Argento looks like she would chase everything. Well, that's a solid challenge by Mitchell. Not often you bounce over Michaela Thornton.
No, definitely not. A bit blindsided there.
Coleman needs to deal with this. And does so elegantly. Raymond. Thornton.
Thornton had a bit of a stint being called into the women's Australian futsal team as well.
Barat for Chu. And that's where Britt Palomi got injured the other week.
Oh, there you go.
And Jess Giovinazzo, the goalkeeper who's now down in Melbourne. She got injured as well. Fair few Canberra players playing in Melbourne. I understand there's a big NPL match there on Friday, which will feature a couple of Melbourne players. I think it's South Melbourne against Box Hill. A few Canberra players playing for those teams now.
Yeah, we got an ex-Capital Football employee playing in goals for South Melbourne there.
She was one of the two that was one of the 3 or 4, I think, that was mentioned. It's in part of that. Christina Esposito.
Yep.
Sophia Paliwada down at Box Hill, formerly of Belconnen United. And a couple more.
Good to see them still playing football, whether it's in Canberra or at a different state. It's all about the development of the women's game.
8 minutes to the break here. Canberra Croatia lead by the solitary goal to 0, scored from the spot by Jamie Berkeley on the half-hour mark. And whilst in the first 15 minutes or so they rattled up the chances, they've become at a premium since then for Croatia.
Yeah, they're struggling to break this line down again.
Well organised, Tuggeranong United defensively. The manner of this, though, means that at some stage they've got to come and get one. It's cup football, there's no second chances. Goldstein. Mitchell.
Moore's gone down here, Russ.
A little bit of a cramp, maybe. The way she's stretching it out, maybe there's a tweak on that calf. It's always a worry, though, when a player goes down when there's no one around them.
Yeah, it's always a concern.
You hope it's not too bad, or maybe an ankle. Let's have a look to see what the treatment is. Gives us a chance to remind you that there's football all around Canberra on this weekend. Huge matches. There's a big match in the CPL on the weekend as Belconnen meet Canberra Olympic. That's going to be an absolute perler. Saturday afternoon, Tigers versus Gungahlin from South Jerebombra, Canberra Croatia versus Queanbeyan City from Deakin, and Monero Panthers versus the Knights from Strider Park in the Men's Premier League. That game at O'Connor between Olympic and Belco in the CPL will be brilliant. Sunday, the men's game is at Solamad, Ugali versus Tuggeranong. Women's Premier League action on the weekend. Olympic play Tuggeranong on Sunday. NU play West Canberra Wanderers at Ainsley. Kayleen sees Belconnen versus Canberra Croatia. It all gets underway on Friday night as Gungahlin play Majura at Gungahlin enclosed. Barach. Chu to send it in towards Raymond on the far post, who met it. Couldn't find the target. Michaela Moore gets some treatments down to our left. Some big games this weekend.
Yeah, it's a jam-packed weekend of football, that's for sure.
The two teams that were in Federation Cup action, Belconnen and Croatia, meet in a cracker at Kayleen. I'll be there with Ian Worthington on Sunday afternoon, should be. Unless I'm told we've got to go on a bus to Gosford. We will see.
Well, that's true. Big game for Canberra United on the weekend.
Massive match against
Central Coast
Mariners. Dear, oh dear. Spent all week thinking we're going to play Adelaide.
Yeah, that's what it was hyped up to be, right?
Now it's Central Coast Mariners away.
Yeah.
If you are interested, there is a bus pending numbers. You can buy a ticket. I think it's $60 return trip, which is pretty good, all the way to Gosford and back on Sunday. Check out the Canberra United website at canberraunited.com.au. Check out the Canberra United socials on Facebook and everything else. It's also on the Capital Football Facebook page. So it tells you all about how you can buy a ticket for the bus. Doesn't get you a match ticket, but match tickets will not be hard to come by at the Industry Group Stadium. You will have plenty of options to get one. But $60 to save yourself an 8-hour round trip. It's not bad, is it?
No, it's good, and it would be good to get behind the girls in green and get them into the next stage of the finals. We haven't been there for a couple of years, and Ant's done really well with the team he's got.
So if you fancy a day out and don't want to drive, you can park your car at McKellar, jump on the bus, they'll take you to Gosford and bring you back. That's for Sunday in the elimination final in the Ninja A-League. Kennedy Spencer. Goldstein. Mustaine. Goldstein again.
Canberra Croatia just forcing Tuggeranong back there. No outlet.
3 minutes or so to half-time. You get the feeling and the sense that Tuggeranong need to get through this half with no further concession.
Yeah, give them time to reset at half-time and come back.
Well, they're playing quite a long time here with 10, aren't they?
Yeah, I don't know if you'll see Moore back on the pitch. He sort of jumped off the pitch.
Did they make a change? I don't think they did.
Not that I saw.
I'm only seeing 10 out there. Maybe they're trying to hold out till half-time. It's a brave call. Casey Smith. Argento. So there's a... giving her time to get back and then playing against 10 against this side. It's a bold call.
It is a bold call. But he's probably trying to save the legs, knowing that they've got games coming up.
As I mentioned, United's game on the weekends, well, doesn't get any easier. They're away at Canberra Olympic. We're desperate for a win, having lost their first two.
Yeah, Canberra Olympic have lost to Gungahlin on the weekend.
Lost to Belconnen as well. Wounded Beast, the league champions.
They are missing quite a number of players who are in the Canberra United squad. And look, as much as you want to see them back in the NPL, you want Canberra United to go a little bit further as well.
I think they've decided that Michaela Moore is not going to make this.
Esperance.
It's Esperance Anderson, yeah, who's going to come on for a second appearance of the season, of the first appearance of the season, a second in the top tier. She'll take a position up on this near side. Another that works in the Capital Football offices. She's been busy putting together Female Football Week. There's some whole raft of activities. You can check them out at capitalfootball.com.au. Dads and daughters, mums and bubs, fast threes, I think there is as well. Some series of webinars. Really good suite of events that they've managed to put together.
See, they're doing a bit of a mini-series as well at some clubs. South Canberra did feature on one of those.
Yeah, they did. I saw that on the social media pages this week. John is given a free kick here to Canberra Croatia. And Thornton's played it through for Chu. A really good challenge. Gemma Toms on Arusha Chu. That was solid. And Singh rides the challenge of Thornton brilliantly. Monthongsi. Thornton. Challenge from Mitchell. Thornton through Monthongsi. Can't get through Mustaine. Some really physical challenges going in out there at the moment.
It is. Thornton's on a gladiator warpath there for a little bit.
Do you sense a tinge of frustration in this Canberra Croatia camp?
Yeah, I think so. I think, you know, those missed opportunities in that first 15, 20 minutes has really shook Canberra Croatia up, and they're just getting a little bit frustrated with the defence of Tuggeranong here. Yeah,
they might feel that they would have had this one almost buried by now had they taken them. Boots under pressure from Anderson. Beautifully done.
Great turn there by Tiana.
Good ball too as well for Berkeley, the goal scorer. Choose ahead. Balach has gone square. McQueenie's out to the right. That's where it's gone from Balach. McQueenie. Arusha Chu in the penalty area. And Toms is there again. Great evening's work from Tom so far.
Yeah, absolutely. She's been solid in defence there and really dominating that area.
This would be cruel for Tuggeranong United with Balach with the corner as we have played a minute of stoppage time at the end of the first half. Into the mixer. Casey Smith with a header. Look at the watch from Humu John. Perhaps one more chance. In fact, it's a goal kick after some deliberation. Conversation between Cameron Wallace and the referee on the headsets. I don't think it was... Did you bring the protein bars for half-time?
I don't think so. Maybe they were just discussing how cold it is out there for them.
Well, we're okay because we've got hoodies on and stuff, haven't we?
I'm quite comfortable.
Canberra Croatia aren't, even though they lead by the solitary goal at the break. Jamie Berkeley's penalty on the half hour. Kelly Sturton. It's a really, really good performance from Tuggeranong United. I've just had a message, actually, from men's head coach Mitch Stevens, who's watching, and he says it's the best 45 minutes he's seen in a long time from a Tuggeranong women's team, and I can't disagree.
No, I can't disagree either. They've played really well, as we said at the start. They're playing nice, solid balls from out the back and trying to penetrate through CCFC, and they've done a phenomenal job keeping them out.
And the only way that Canberra Croatia have broken through is from the penalty spot. Jamie Berkeley sliding home when the spot kick was awarded on the half-hour mark. At the moment, that's enough to put Canberra Croatia into the semi-finals. But Tuggeranong United, well, they are not going to go down wanting. Stay tuned for what should be a corker of a second half in the Women's Federation Cup quarter-final. At half-time here at Kambah 2, it's Tuggeranong United 0, Canberra Croatia 1. Excellent work from you. You've got one good one. My horse stiffened up. Welcome back to Kambah 2, where you're watching Federation Cup quarterfinals, brought to you by our sponsors, Allstate Towing. Broken down or been in an accident, give Allstate Towing a call. Your 24/7 local trusted towing company. Electro Tinj, proudly supporting the Capital Football Federation Cup qualifying rounds. Deakin Club, the family-friendly football club. Kitro Excavations for all your excavation and earth-moving needs. Rhythm Snowsports, Ignite the Stoke. Canberra PC Repair, IT support when you need it most. LJ Hooker for your real estate needs. Contact Lukas Cole at LJ Hooker. Xela Construction, commercial builders, proudly supporting grassroots football. Second half about to get underway. I'm Russ Gibbs. Kelly Sturton, former Paramatildas head coach and world champion, is with me. First thing I can see, Kelly, is Angelina Babic on the field in a Canberra Croatia jersey. So they've obviously made a change.
They have.
I'm not trying to see who it is, but we'll figure it out. Looks like it might be Riley McQueenie. But we will check that for you. And it also looks like Nadia Zachman's come on at fullback.
For Letitia.
For Letitia Babic. A couple of changes for Canberra, Croatia. I'll just double check that it is McQueenie. I think it is, isn't it? Raymond's still on that far side.
Yeah, it is McQueenie.
It's unusual for us to be able to get that so quickly.
Just a talent.
Usually takes half an hour for us to pick out who's come on. Zachman back from injury. Should be glad to get some minutes under a belt. Don't think Tuggeranong have made any changes apart from the one we saw just before half-time. Offside. So we were talking at half-time, and everyone's been talking around us at half-time about how well Tuggeranong have been playing.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I'm very impressed with how Tuggeranong's playing. Really solid in that defence, and CCFC are finding it hard to break it down.
There is a change for Tuggeranong United. Claire Bundy wearing number 15 in the middle of the park. Now, this is when we try and figure out who it is for you. I think it might be Jyotika Singh looking around.
Yep, she's on that far side there, Russ.
So there's a change for Tuggeranong United in the middle of the park as well. Has been struggling with a thigh injury, I believe, Jyotika Singh. Got through 45 minutes. Coleman to lift it in. Alloway underneath this, comfortable for the goalkeeper. Don't you love half-time when there's no boards for the subs?
Oh, I love it.
You had interchange in the World Cup, didn't you? You could just do whatever you liked whenever you wanted, couldn't you?
No, we had substitution.
Oh, was it substitutions?
Yeah, very similar to NPL. You only get those 5 subs in 3 moments.
Kept you on your toes.
It did, as always, especially with players with cerebral palsy. They tend to get a few injuries, so you've got to manage that.
Is Zachman. And how was it all off the pitch as well there, Kelly? Was it an experience?
Yeah, it definitely was. The girls were really good together, and we really didn't have much time to be leisurable.
People often think football tours are all about that, but they're not, are they? You don't get to do anything except see training fields and football grounds.
Yeah, exactly right. We only had
2 World Cups and an Asian Championship. Is that what was under your belt?
Yeah, we got runners-up first World Cup, winners of Asia Cup, and winners of World Cup. So I'm pretty happy.
Retired on a high.
Yeah, absolutely. Better do before it goes downhill from there.
I'm sure they'll be sorry to see you go.
Yeah, look, it's sad to go, but I think it's time for another coach to come in and make those changes and see what they can do with the girls.
And we're going to work on a bit of a souvenir of the years, aren't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
To get some memories down on paper?
Yeah, absolutely. And a bit of funding towards the girls as well. They're still not funded, so all the money would be good to go towards them and, keep the Paramatildas going.
I did mention it to the FA, to their media manager, and they were very happy with that and said that would be okay, that they'll be able to use all the funding towards that, so we just got to get on and do it.
Yeah, we do.
I've started.
You have. You've done really well. I'm the slack one here.
You're letting the side down,
yeah.
We're talking about a Paramatilda's souvenir book of their achievements, and you'll be able to buy one. We encourage everyone to do so once it's done, which will be in a bit. Will be quite some time, but we are working on it. Bundy's touch forward. Nice turn Kennedy Spencer. Now Argento can use her pace. Summers has read that really well and needed to come and get there. Otherwise, Argento was in.
Argento's very quick up there, and yeah, Ellie read that well. And I think if she didn't get that ball, we would have seen Canberra Croatia in a bit of trouble.
Good ball from Kennedy Spencer. Won it in the midfield and then turned beautifully. Just a little warning to Canberra Croatia that this is far from done. Manthongsi, she wants to have a pop from a mile out. Nice idea. Summers behind it all the way, though.
Yeah, I think Tara just saw her off the line there and thought she'd give it a go. Just didn't have a bit of air to that.
Croatia have appeared in 2 of the last 4 cup finals. They won one against West Canberra Wanderers in 2023. They lost last year against Belconnen. Angelina Babic might be in. Alloway says, well, I see you, Summers, and I'll do exactly the same. A loose touch from Nadia Zachman, probably a bit of ring rustiness. Arusha Chu has scored 4 goals in the last 4 NPL matches. Been in a fine vein of form.
She has.
Towards the tail end of last year, sorry, Kay.
That's all right. I think she's been very close today. Just missing that sitter in the first half, but I'm sure there's one to come.
Don't want to give her too many chances because she will bury one eventually. Casey Smith, who's been part of that resolute Tuggeranong defensive unit. Kennedy Spencer, who's been the outlet up top. Used her strength really well. Good challenge by Mercurius. A centre-back wearing number 9. What is the world coming to?
I think she must have scissor, paper, rock for that number. Because you got 21 up top there.
I asked Jyotika Singh, who was weighing 25 at work today, did you pick 25? And she goes, well, I wanted 7, 14 or 21, but all of them were gone. So she just said, in the end, just give me whatever. Bundy. Back to Manthongsi. Goldstein. Manthongsi again. Just a bit loose. Zachman came in. Babic. Snappy tackle from Smith. Argento. Tuggeranong have started this second half very brightly indeed, and they've got a free kick here. Well, they haven't. Offside.
No, it's being called offside.
Yeah.
Very early offside call.
Keisha Argento. Doesn't need to be offside. Could probably give everyone a 10-yard start and still make it, I think. Must be horrible to mark.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
One of a number of players, Keisha Argento, who's cut the holes in the back of the socks.
I was just about to say that. It's the new fashion in the football field.
It is. I don't really know what it's supposed to do. Allow your calves to breathe?
Potentially. Less sweat. It's either the rolled down socks or the cut socks, you know. You don't know these days, Russ.
No idea. Not back when we played. You're still running around, or are you just coaching now? You can't run around at the moment.
I can't run around at the moment. I was playing Masters for South Canberra, but unfortunately, an injury. But now, focus on the coaching. And
did I hear you picked up another trophy last year after CFL or before CFL? Did you win a Masters trophy?
No.
Or a league championship? Was it just the CFL stuff?
No, it was South Canberra Div 1. We won minor prems, and then we won the final, which was really good. First trophy for the club. So,
how does that compare with your World Cup trophy?
Oh, look, it's the same level. I reckon I had the same excitement winning that than I did the World Cup.
Is the medal better?
Yeah, probably.
Mercurius. You never get tired of winning, do you?
No, definitely not.
Tom's under pressure.
Tom's has been super solid in that back line for Tuggeranong.
I was lucky enough in my career to win a few things and a few golden boots here and there, and I found a Facebook post popped up on my feed of a memory of me retiring a few years back, and my daughter made me a little medal, and it's a pride of my collection.
Oh, there you go. God, kids can be cute sometimes,
they
can't
be, and then horrors. On some
especially
other occasions.
School holidays are always the horror season.
Thornton, Raymond steps inside, wants a free kick. Doesn't get one, surprisingly. Humwe John was right on the spot, minds. We were a long way away. Raymond, Thornton, towards Babic. He's done well to keep that in, and Babic is there, and that's another fine save from Alloway. Angelina Babic did brilliantly to keep it alive, and well, Babic looks certain to score, and Alloway denies her.
Yeah, Babic kept that in really well. I thought that was out for everyone.
When it fell to Babic, she thought the net was going to bulge. Babic again with the set piece. driven flatter across the face of the box. Mercurius. Boots forward. Croatia seeking what might be a killer second. Although, as we've seen throughout the world, 2 goals is never really enough. Berkeley.
Definitely not.
Thornton going forward. You'd have watched United get their remarkable win the other week. Babic has won it here and pulled it back into the penalty area. And there's an opportunity for Berkeley. And over the crossbar. No lead is ever secure.
No, definitely not. You never know what's going to happen.
That's the beauty of football. And as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast tonight, cup football has a strange way of throwing things up. It would felt, when we look at all the statistics, I mentioned 111 goals in 20-odd games, etc., etc. Some crutches for Michaela Moore below us. And some ice.
On the knee, I think,
on the
Ross.
knee, okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's precautionary and not as bad as it might look.
Yeah, hopefully. Crutches are never a good sign, though.
Says the lady with a
with a knee brace on.
Knee brace going up to her neck.
Yeah. It's a fashion accessory these days.
Absolutely. You wouldn't be without it, would you?
No.
When does it come off?
8 weeks, but I got to see a surgeon as well, so let's see what comes of that.
Casey Smith. Thanks for coming out tonight with a dodgy knee.
Oh, look. It's always good to watch some good Canberra football.
And we're getting a treat of a match here because this cup tie is very much in the balance. If Tuggeranong could get themselves on terms here, we would be in for one heck of a finish.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ten minutes of the second half gone. My clock didn't start, which is a shame, so I have to use Michael's. Luckily, he's all over it.
Great turn there by Jess Mitchell.
You got caught there by Raymond. Cramped up a bit, Jess Mitchell.
It's not the weather for cramping.
Better now than mid-July, though, as we mentioned before.
True. It was sprinkling before. It seems to have stopped.
Yeah, half-time. Nice little sprinkle of shower just to make the pitch a little faster.
Yeah, absolutely. Talking about fast, Tuggeranong got some pace in their forward line.
Well, as we mentioned on the cusp of half-time, when we had that message from the head coach of the men's team, Mitch Stevens, and we were talking about it as well, this has been a very good performance from Tuggeranong United. Not seen one like this for a long, long, long time.
No, it's got a new brace in the club, and it's looking good, and hopefully they can hold it for the rest of the season.
Many, many moons ago, they won their opening NPL game of the season 1-0 against Belconnen United, and that's Anthony Jagerinitz, Belconnen United. And even that performance that day was not as good as this, I don't think. They got absolutely battered that day, but Belconnen couldn't score.
Yeah.
And they won 1-0, one of those games.
Luck falls your way, luck falls your way.
But you have to say, as good as that 1-0 win is, in the annals of Tuggeranong United Football Club, this performance has probably been better.
Yeah, absolutely. They've been playing well as well. When they've got the ball at their feet, they're very patient, which is really good to see from Tuggeranong. Normally we see some rush football, but not tonight.
Only the penalty separates the sides. Scored by Jamie Berkeley on the half hour. Canberra Croatia looking for a second. They're going to give themselves a bit of breathing space. But Casey Smith is in no mood to let that happen. Proper stalwart of Tuggeranong United Football Club now, Casey Smith. Musialonga, Nick Brosnich on the edge of their technical area, perhaps pondering what's happening. Well, somehow Croatia will be given a corner here.
Yeah, the centre referee's overturned the AR there.
Difficult to see from where we were. Didn't see any appeals for a corner, though, from Croatia. Anyway, Bella Barac will take it and deliver a good-looking one into the danger area where it's volleyed over and wide by Berkeley, who came in to meet it and might have done better, but couldn't hit the target. Tuggeranong United change.
Jess Mitchell's coming off there, Russ.
I think it's Ella Lister, wearing number 18. that's coming on the halfway line. The defender.
Yep.
To play on that right fullback side. Mitchell cramping up, and good proactive substitution for Ian Toms. Mitchell's worked really hard tonight. And Ella Lister, more youthful exuberance. Zachman too strong for Argento. Bundy got involved. Put herself about in the middle since she's come on, Claire Bundy.
Yeah, absolutely. She's holding that middle. She's putting a bit of pressure on that defensive line of CCFC.
We mentioned at the kickoff, the midfield three of Tuggeranong at the moment. Claire Bundy's had 8 MPL appearances, Tara Mathongsi 23, Rena Goldstein 80, up against the trio from Canberra, Croatia, the 236 of Thornton, the 162 of Berkeley, the 104 of Barrach, and yet you would not know it.
No, absolutely not. As we keep saying, Russ, Tuggeranong have really shown up tonight.
And perhaps we shouldn't sound surprised, because there is a new era breathing life into this football club. Goldstein to lift it in. Chu. Break might be on. Awkward touch for Berkeley, though. Same for Mathongsi. Thornton. Boots. And Coleman for Mercurius, just trying to get themselves a little few touches of the ball here. Calming themselves down.
Yeah, just
and as I say that, Zachman gives it away. Now Argento up against Mercurius, and she's got away from Mercurius, Acacia Argento, and then scuffs the shot wide. But another sign that Tuggeranong United are here to play.
Yeah, absolutely, Russ. That was a bit dangerous there. Mercanos going down, but unfortunately for Tuggeranong, they just missed that shot.
There must be some nervous moments on that Canberra Croatia bench. This half of the draw is incredibly open. ANU Wanderers is the winners of this one. All 4 teams will feel that they've got a chance of making the final. Yeah. Canberra Croatia will be the favourites of that quartet. Don't think any of the other clubs would disagree with that.
No, I don't think so.
But cup football, favouritism counts for very little. Chu went down. Advantage played. Raymond. Casey Smith's going to get there first.
Interesting there. It was a bit of a shirt pull.
Yeah, the advantage was played by Human John. I wonder if he will revisit it when the ball goes dead. Maybe there might be a card. But defensively and in midfield, Tuggeranong have been very good. It's just finding that cutting edge in the final third. If they can add that to this game, they're going to cause a few upsets this season. Yeah,
absolutely. They're so patient in that back line, just playing it out nice and smoothly there. From Alloway and out to her flanks. It's really good, nice football to watch.
Gemma Thomas has been incredibly impressive in the central defence, the youngster.
Yeah.
Saw Hallie Namache do it last night for Madura at a young age. Just reads the game well, Kelly.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, she's been one of the best players out there, just very calm on the ball and not rushing her play, which is good, and it's not giving CCFC any time on the ball.
And there's more than a touch of physicality about her game, which is nice to see in a centre-back.
Yeah, absolutely. And she's short for a centre-back as well, so the strength comes, I think, one of the best assets she's got there.
Kennedy Spencer. A chance to send this in towards Argento. Here's a chance for Tuggeranong. Couldn't bring it down. But the pace of Argento. And she's got there again. Smith to whip it in. Second chance for Casey Smith. But again, another warning. Wonderful work from Kennedy Spencer. And the ball wasn't bad either.
Fantastic ball through. I think Canberra Croatia are a little bit rattled in the second half by Tuggeranong.
Well, 63 minutes gone. 1-0 Croatia. We mentioned in the first half, if I'd said to Ian Toms at 25 minutes, there'd have been 0-0. If I'd said at 63, there'd have been 1-0, I think he'd have been happy.
Yeah, exactly right.
I mean, not deliriously happy, because he'd rather be 1-0 up, of course. As anyone would. Barrach.
Ian's new to the head coaching role at Tuggeranong as well this year, taking over from Sarah West.
I had the privilege of standing in front of him at Western Creek Masters. Mr. Malonglo Masters as they were. He played central midfield.
There you go.
I hung around up top with Steve Lazzari.
Oh, the Lazzari is still hanging around too, I think.
Still is, yeah. Still banging in the goals. No doubts. Barac wants to go from distance. The dip is going to be hard hit for Alloway, and it's beaten her. It was always on, and Bella Barac has the quality to do it. And that might be the goal that just breaks Tuggeranong United. Bella Barac for 2-0.
Fantastic read there by Bella. Just catching that keeper off the line a little bit and just dipping into the back of the net there.
Well, Alloway wasn't that far off the line, was she? It was a perfect angle.
Yeah.
Just could not get her hands up to it, almost on the goal line when it's dropped over her head.
Yeah, fantastic dip. It's a goalkeeper killer, those balls.
And Bella Barac scores the goal, which might just seal this tie. Now Tuggeranong need a response quickly. Might they get one with Kennedy Spencer?
Great defensive there. Defensive play there by Sophia. Just getting a foot to it.
Berkeley robbed by Smith. Argento. Bundy. Mumthongsi. Toms. It's taken something quite special, really, to break the shackles.
Yeah, I think CCFC have really struggled to break through that defensive line, so the only option there is to try and hit a banger from out wide, and they've done that.
Arguably the player with the greatest technique on the football pitch is the one that's it fell to and the one that's actually pulled it off.
Yeah, absolutely. You can always count on Bella doing a fantastic goal like that.
Here she is again. Scored twice in their first MPL game. Zachman looks for Angelina Babic, holds up in the longer grass out here on the flanks. Zachman, effervescent character. Berkeley was looking for the pop ball for Thornton, didn't come off. Mumthongsi was there. Zachman again. Mercurius. Coleman. And gives it away.
Tuggeranong have been very, very patient in this defensive structure as well, just sitting back and letting Canberra Croatia come to them before they jump onto the ball, waiting for that mistake from Canberra Croatia before they penetrate forward.
Esperance Anderson over on that flank. Might have been her cross earlier on, actually, out in the distance that created it for Argento.
That would have been a phenomenal goal if she got a foot to that.
It's hard to see out there in the dark, isn't it?
It is. It's pretty dark over that side.
A long way away.
My eyes aren't very good. I don't eat my carrots as a young girl, so...
Yeah, join the club. Only need my glasses for seeing. Casey Smith has it back again. Kennedy Spencer finds Argento. Mumthongsi. Anderson's got a bit of room out on that flank if they can find it. She's stolen a couple of yards. Goldstein's come back this way. Smith wants to go that way. Anderson couldn't quite get there. There's a bit of a mess up in the back as well, and it's not a fluid Canberra Croatia performance.
No, I think they've been a bit rattled here by Tuggeranong. I don't think they're expecting this sort of pressure.
Babic, good sides find a way, though. They have done twice. Slip from Babic. That's the rain half-time that's made it a little bit greasy on top.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit slippery out there. The ball's sliding around as well.
Football continues on Friday. You can watch Gungahlin United and Madura with Sam Watson live on Capital Football YouTube channel. Here's Argento. Barac wins it back. Berkeley looking for Chu. That should be Alloway's.
Canberra Croatia just struggling to penetrate that box at the moment, waiting for those balls to go through.
Well, they reverted to the longer ball, haven't they? Because they haven't been able to work their way through the midfield to create those little dinked passes that Barac usually excels in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Babic rather does well to find Zachman. That's the kind of ball we're talking about. To Barac again. And Thongsy there for Tuggeranong United.
I think Ian's done his homework here, and the girls have too. They've really shut Canberra Croatia out.
Argento has it back. You're watching live Federation Cup quarterfinal action in Canberra, brought to you by our sponsors: Allstate Towing, Electro Tinj, Deakin Club, Kitro Excavations, Rhythm Snowsports, Canberra PC Repair, LJ Hooker, and Xela Constructions. Thanks again to the sponsors who are popping up on your screen throughout the contest. Casey Smith. Just over 20 minutes to play. Croatia lead by 2. Berkeley and Barac. One from the spot, one from a mile out. Anderson battling away and winning it back. Esperance Anderson. Argento. Berkeley forward. Well won by Mustaine. Anderson after this as well. Put it back into a position where Thongsy can get onto it here. Shot was charged down, though, by Michaela Thornton. They're having a go, aren't they? They might be in trouble here, though.
They are. So choose.
Bundy
streaming through.
Yeah, Urusha Chu just cleaned her out from behind.
I think Arusha's getting a little bit frustrated not finding the back of the net yet.
Yeah, on the far side, I think it was the Ella Lister, in fact, who got back there to defend. And then was bundled over by Chu. And Lister asked her what she was doing. Giving away a free kick was the answer. Goldstein tried to slide it through to Argento, who maybe wanted it popped over the top.
Argento's done some running up the top here, just trying to stop the ball from getting pushed forward.
That's some ball from Coleman to find Raymond. Lister's gone out to meet it. Chu's got a touch and it's taken it away from Barac. Smith gets rid of it.
Tuggeranong were lucky there. If Barac got on top of that ball, I think that would have been the third goal.
Whilst the touch from Chu helped it on its way, it also took it behind the on-rushing Bella Barac. Might not have reached her if it hadn't been for the touch, minds. Babic to slide it into the area. Mustaine away. Was caught a little late. Fire trucks in the background. Do you live the other way? Are you worried right now?
No, definitely not worried. Someone's put their heater on, hasn't cleaned it out yet.
Poor old possum that's in there. Canberra Croatia, whilst we were looking over our shoulder, I've sent Amy Bongiorno on. Take up a position in the middle of the park. Jamie Berkeley, I believe, has gone off.
Having a bit of a breather before the weekend.
Took the captain's armband off and gave it to the defenders. Bongiorno, Zachman, Mercurius, Coleman. Mercurius again. Argento wins it back. Kennedy Spencer tries to put it through for Anderson, didn't quite get enough on it. Ellie Summers has been relatively untroubled. Lister sticks a leg out.
Other than that one shot from Barac there, Russ, I think both keepers have had a pretty quiet second half.
There was the one decent save from Alloway, wasn't there, when Babic pulled one back and Barac blocked it. Apart from that and the goal, very little to test the Tuggeranong goalkeeper, which is why the home support will be relatively pleased. I mean, there's no doubting that Canberra Croatia deserve to be ahead. They've created the better chances.
Yeah, they definitely had the more possession in the game as well.
They might be able to add to their tally here. Babic in behind Smith, who did well to eat up the ground there with Angelina Babic. It'll be expensive yet another corner.
Let's see if they can get one off this corner. They've been trying a lot.
Well, they've sent Coleman and Mercurius forward again, so they're
looking for that header.
Keen to try and finish this one off and give Tuggeranong no sniff of a way back. Barac goes short. And then having sent the two centre-backs forward.
Commentary curse.
Raymond's won it back, though. And then ridden Mathongsi's challenge and fires it across. And I'll tell you what, if she'd gone down there, Ellie Raymond, there may have been a case for a spot kick.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a bit of a late challenge there by Tara.
Stayed on her feet, though. Commendable from Ellie Raymonds. Richard Chu squeezes through a gap. No, I think she was caught between whether to hit one with that blunderbuss of a right foot that she's got, or to find Balac, and then in the end did neither. You've seen Arusha Chu hit a football. Goodness me, it comes off at a rate of knots.
You wouldn't want to be a keeper behind that one.
I've often said all year you don't want to be a keeper in CFL, but you do.
Yeah, yeah. It's a bit silly. Like, you got to have rocks in your head to be a futsal goalkeeper.
Here's Zachman, and she wants to go from a distance. This time Alloway is over it, and then does well to follow up under pressure from Chu. It's a specialist position, isn't it, goalkeeping? I was talking to Ingrid Larsson's father at half-time of the game last night. Ingrid Larsson, who's gone to the Judy Matilda's camp. Mildura goalkeeper, unable to play last night, of course, being called up to go for a training camp for a company. Talking to him about it and saying that the goalkeeping is an individual position in a team sport, isn't it? Because there's no way out for you. It's just a very lonely job sometimes.
It is. It definitely is. And, you know, you punish yourself when the balls go in the back of the net. But, you know, without a goalkeeper, there'd be a lot more goals going in the back of the net. And I commend, especially in the women's game, you don't see very many goalkeepers out there. And we're training girls now that are not specialised in that position but are looking to take it on.
And Ingrid Larsson's father made a point last night. Again, you know, on the field, if you make a mistake, there's someone to bail you out. There's not if you're a goalkeeper often. Sometimes someone might want to hack one off the line for you, but very often if you make the mistake, it ends up in the back of that net. Yeah,
absolutely. And you've got to trust the 10 players in front of you as well to protect your box, and hopefully that no one enters it and scores that goal.
Yeah, have to be very mentally strong to don those gloves.
Or, you know, bit of rocks in your head too.
Or crazy.
Yeah, crazy.
We love our goalkeepers, and Canberra's got a really good history of bringing goalkeepers through in both the men's and women's competition. In the women's, Lydia Williams particularly. Chloe Lincoln now at Western United. Sally James back at Canberra United.
Yeah, and then you've got, was it Perry Cullen in the Central Coast Mariners men's team?
And Janet Kingston, the women's version as well. Georgia Ritchie's another good one coming through in the women's.
Yeah, absolutely. Georgia's been around for a while now. She's probably one of the older heads in the goalkeeping community.
Even though she's, 16 or something?
Yeah, exactly right.
There's a yellow card coming out here. And who's he pointing to?
Arusha Chu, I think, got that one.
Was it Chu? Was it Tom's?
No, it might have been Tom's, actually.
I think it was Tom's he was pointing to for the foul. We can confirm that a bit later on. Now then, is this in range for Bella Barac? Is this in range for Michaela Thornton?
I think it's in range for either of them, Russ.
Midway inside the opposition half.
I think Barac is going to take this one.
Barac behind it. 12 minutes to play. She's already scored from a similar kind of distance. There's no doubt she'll be able to get this down from this range. Now the question is, can she hit the target? Thornton's there as well. Who will it be? It's going to be Barac. It is over the wall. Spits off the surface and goes straight through Alloway, who puts her shirt on her head and apologises to her teammates. That was horrible. It didn't bounce at all in front of it. Just skidded on and finds its way through the goalkeeper. And that's what we were talking about earlier, Kelly, just a moment ago, and how cruel this game can be.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I don't think the rain at halftime would have helped either for either keepers in their box when the ball's sliding through and it's wet. And unfortunately, through the legs that went, and Alloway's just taken another goal.
Positioned herself well. I think she was waiting for it to spit up off the surface, and it didn't.
No,
it just hit
skidded.
a puddle or something in front of her and just skidded straight on.
Yeah, unfortunate. She's had a great game, and she should hold her head high.
Absolutely. Bella Barrett has 2 tonight to go with the 2 she got in the 1 league game they've played. Buongiorno. And that one's harsh on Tuggeranong. Babbage. Smith won't give it up. Zachman. Babbage. Nicely done by Argento. Too many white shirts, though. Barach, that's a lovely ball. Here's Buongiorno, who's onside here and a chance to roll it across. Was she caught late? Well, the referee should have a look at that.
The crowd's calling for it as well.
Well, you never see it given, do you?
No.
But she was caught so late by Casey Smith, it was almost a stonewaller from where we were. But the referee waved it away. As we said, you never see them given, do you?
No, absolutely not.
Interesting to see that on the replay, but it did look very much like it could have been a second penalty of the day.
Absolutely.
Tuggeranong might have dodged one there.
I think they did, but, you know, we're not the referee either, and he's seen differently.
I think in those moments you're watching the ball being played, and then your eye line is going to where it's going to, of course, and you might not see what's happening here. So, I mean, it's easily missed.
Yeah, absolutely.
As I said before, when we have the higher vantage point that we do here, you're able to take in more of the field, aren't you, than when you're at pitch level.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
Sometimes you can see things like that.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's hard for a referee as well when you're in a mix of a lot of women and the ball's moving around.
Barach with another set piece to second it into the area. Thornton got there. Couldn't get a pure connection on it. Argento under pressure. Babbage wins it back. Mercurius to send it across. Bundy tries to get rid of it, but Thornton's won it back on the edge of the penalty area. And Barach has gone for it from distance again.
Well tracked back by Alloway there, watching that ball.
I think just going back to that shout a moment ago as well, Kelly, when it is 3-0, it's easier to take for the opposition. It's not really a game changer, is it?
No, absolutely not. If it was 0-0, I think we would have heard a bit more of an uproar, but when you're up 3-0, I think you can let that one slide.
With 8 minutes to play, Canberra Croatia's progression to the semi-finals virtually secure. Would take some sort of miracle for Tuggeranong to get back into this from here.
And I don't think the scorelines really reflected how Tuggeranong's played either. I think they've had some unfortunate goals go back in the net, but, you know, they've played sensational football tonight.
If 3-0 sounds like it's fairly comfortable, but it's been anything but. Arusha Chu, his evening is done. Pierre McGee will come on for her. Another youngster. Brought the supporters club with her. Young Pierre McGee. Very popular substitution, that one, Kelly.
It was very popular.
Here's the first touch.
Wish I had a cheer squad like that when I'm playing.
Haven't you got some kids to bring along?
Yeah, they don't want to watch their mum play Masters.
Better things to do on a Sunday?
Yeah, I think so.
Cartoons to watch or something?
Yeah, I think my son would either rather read a book than watch his mum play. He never reads, so...
He's doing all right in the futsal world, though, is he not?
Yeah, he is. He's a good lad. He's playing for O'Connor Knights in the outdoor season, and we've had a few trips for his Australian team, which is good. Cost me a fortune, but that's all right.
Helping them live their dreams. It's all good. Buongiorno, that's a lovely pass for Babbage inside here. Raymond wants it on a plate if she can, and it might get there, but Mustaine came across and cleared it. And she had to, otherwise Bella Barrett was probably getting a tap in for a treble.
Yeah, absolutely. Great run there by Babbage, just running down that sideline and cutting it back through the box.
Offered a big outlet in this second half, Babbage on that right flank. But Jono's come short here, and loads of space if Barach wants to give it to her. Instead, she's whipped it into the danger area. Headed way at the near post. Clearance only as far as Thornton. Buongiorno. Scored a couple of goals herself in the reserves first game of the season. They won 8-0 against ANU Women's Reserves.
It's a comfortable scoreline there. ANU's a new team as well this year. I think they lost quite a few players to Majura.
Yeah, I'm told a lot of the ANU team have come through Radford College under-18s Div 1 outfits. It's a big step up for those players to step into the Premier League ranks.
Yeah,
we'll see how they go this season. I'm sure it'll be a learning curve for a lot of them.
You got to start somewhere.
Absolutely. Everyone had a debut at some stage.
Absolutely, and look, you can only learn from it.
Casey Smith with the throw. 5 minutes plus a little bit to go. Tuggeranong's cup run will come to an end at the first hurdle. And Smith clatters Babic. But they have made Canberra Croatia work for this very hard. Coleman to send it long.
Well read there by Toms.
Not for the first time. Bundy again gets a toe in. Busy midfielder.
She has been busy in this second half, but in saying that, she's really controlled that midfield for Tuggeranong.
Manthongsi's shown flashes of class as well in possession.
Yeah, absolutely. As you said, Russ, Tuggeranong have played so well in this whole game.
Seems almost cruel that they find themselves 3 adrift.
But it shows what they can do, and it's a long season ahead, and I think they're going to upset a few teams.
And you're looking at the powerhouses of women's football in the nation's capital. Deakin United and Canberra Olympic, of course, who've been hoovering up the trophies between them over the last few years. Canberra Croatia before that, looking to get back to those levels. 3 of the teams that have been winning all of the trophies really over the last decade or so. Gungahlin United with a smattering of finals appearances in there as well. Tuggeranong United putting a case to be amongst the best of the rest.
Yeah, look, it wouldn't surprise me if they crack that top 4 this year.
Great run from Pia McGee, and she's almost found Babic. And again, there was a later challenge on Pia McGee who asked the question.
Was it Tara again in the box?
A wry smile on the face of some of the Tuggeranong players, I think. Well, there's an opportunity in there, isn't there, for teams to try and crack that top 4. It's going to be very difficult.
It is. There's always those clear 4, but, you know, if Tuggeranong keep playing the way they do...
it's just finding that something at the pointy end, isn't it? Finding a goal or
absolutely.
2. I feel in Argento, they've got a player that they can get in behind defences if they can get that ball over the top. It might not be the most pretty football, but I'm sure it'll be effective.
Yeah, and I think Kennedy there holds as that false 9 as well to hold the ball up and play the ball through to Argenta. I think they've got a good combination up the front line there.
Well, they've certainly looked a very attacking outfit tonight, and they've come out with a 4-3-3, and they've stuck to it. No sense of parking the bus and just letting it happen. They've had a go. Best chance they had was that Mathongsi snapshot that went straight at Ellie Summers. A couple of through balls that Argento might get to against a goalkeeper who's not as alert as Summers. Comes off the back of Kennedy Spencer. Barach, who's got 2 of the 3. Lister came in with a challenge. Now Mercurius can bring it forward. McGee's nice little ball for Barach. Zachman, Raymond. Well done with Toms again. Magenta tried the first time ball. Babic has won it back. Esperance Anderson, by the way, Kelly, has taken up some positions on that flank that she's got acres of space. If they could switch the ball to her, she could cause some damage down that flank.
Yeah, I think so. Tiana Boots hasn't really had to work in this second half. But Esperance has been holding that space really well.
They haven't found her yet, have they? One time
No.
I think they did. I think, as I mentioned, it was her ball in. I might have credited it to Kennedy Spencer, but I think it was her cross. that almost found Argento. Well won by Toms again. Arguably Tuggeranong's pick for player of the match, maybe.
Yeah,
Gemma Toms?
I think it's going to be hard between Toms and Kennedy. I think Kennedy's put in some really solid work in that front line and dropping into that mid.
Slips on the surface, Claire Kennedy-Spencer, just as you say that.
As always.
Barach, here's Zachman. Can she pick out a pass? She can for Ellie Raymond. Good block. Lara Mustaine, that was destined for the bottom corner. Still might be with Babic to send it through. That dipped horribly on Alloway as well.
It did. I don't think she was ready for that ball to dip then.
Zachman delivers it across. Barach's touch. Prodded away. McGee might fancy it. That would have been popular.
Very popular. I think the crowd would have gone up for that one.
Pierre McGee. Youngster off the bench.
Is this her first grade debut?
She played 2 games last year as a sub as well, I understand. Hasn't made an impact in the first game. Wasn't used off the bench in this one. Did score again in that 8-0 win, I think, over ANU in the reserves. That's Raymond's. Oh, and that's clattered off the bar.
It was a great turn by Raymond and unfortunate to hit the bar.
Alloway was beaten. Barach. Babic. This has been a great battle, Babic and Casey Smith. No quarter asked or given between those two.
Nah. And Babic will never back down, and neither will Smith.
Into stoppage time at the end of 90. Canberra Croatia progressing to the semi-finals of the Federation Cup. That's offside. With a 3-0 success. Maybe one more to come, perhaps. Who knows?
You never know.
But I don't think many people other than the Canberra Croatia defence and Ellie Summers would begrudge Tuggeranong a goal here tonight.
No, usually I don't think they would. I think Tuggeranong deserve a goal in this game.
What's been impressive has been the confidence they've played. Previous Tuggeranong teams down the years, after conceding a couple, might have crumbled. This one seems to be made of steelier stuff. And credit to the coaching staff and the players that have been used tonight. All 14 of them. McGee again, raising the decibel levels of the supporters around us. Now here's a chance for Anderson. Didn't quite find the angle it needed. And she'll go through Esperance Anderson and charge it down, but I think she handled it.
Great league charge down.
It was a NRL special.
But that's what you want to see by Tuggeranong, you know. On that right-hand side, it's been pretty quiet. And obviously, it just created a big danger pocket there.
92nd minute of the game. They're still pressing for a goal here, Tuggeranong. Led by Anderson and Kennedy-Spencer. Barach. Buongiorno. Babic. Monthongsi tracks back again. Zachman's quick, though. And that'll be a corner kick. 2 minutes of stoppage time gone.
The referee's looking at his watch. I think this might be the last play of the game.
Can Canberra Croatia end with a 4th? Which would be horribly harsh on Tuggeranong United, but they've gone to sleep here momentarily. And a chance for Ellie Raymond to pick across into the penalty area and volley wide by McGee with the last kick of the game. That would have been popular. As it is, Tuggeranong United's cup run will come to an end, as I mentioned at the first tour in the quarterfinals. But Kelly Sturton, a really, really good performance and a lot that they can take out of this from in the positive column. Yeah,
absolutely. If Tuggeranong play like this all season, I think they're going to rattle a few teams, and I keep saying it, but I do believe that the performance that they had tonight, just the patience on the ball in that back line is really good to see, considering last year they didn't win a game. I don't think we're going to see that this year.
And note the goals, a penalty from Jamie Berkeley, a lob from a long way out from Isabella Barrett, and that free kick that skidded through on the goalkeepers. All 3 goals had a touch of fortune about them, but that was enough for Canberra Croatia. Kelly Sturton, thank you very much for coming on. We'll have you on again because we can chat around about this all night, about your experiences, and hopefully that knee gets better.
Yeah, absolutely. No, thank you for having me. It's been a great night, and look forward to watching some more women's football in Canberra.
Yeah, thanks very much for everybody watching at home. Thanks for Michael Rubendell on the camera. Again, thanks to all our production team up in Brisbane for bringing you live Federation Cup football. I've been Russ Gibbs. This has been a fun evening, but it's gone the way of Canberra Croatia here at Kambah 2. They progress to the semi-finals of the Cup, where they will meet the winners of ANU and West Canberra Wanderers. We'll be on that next week. The final score here at Kambah: Tuggeranong United 0, Canberra Croatia 3.